A very good morning to all of you. So, in the last class, we have already discussed about the definitions of oxidation and reduction. So, there are four definitions of oxidation and four definitions of reduction. In which one definition, which is very important, is the loss of electron is known as oxidation, and the gain of electron is known as reduction. Okay. Now, this definition is very broad and complex as well. So, actually, in case of ionic compounds, we can easily predict whether oxidation takes place or reduction takes place, or which compound is getting oxidized and which compound is getting reduced. For example, in case of NaCl, okay, in case of NaCl, so Na is oxidized, it lose electrons, and Cl will gain that electron. But in case of covalent compounds, it is not so easy. It is not so easy to predict whether which compound is oxidized or which compound is reduced. Okay, so I have already discussed that in order to check whether oxidation takes place or reduction takes place, we can use the number. You can say that the number line. Okay, so we can easily predict whether oxidation takes place, reduction takes place with the help of a number line. If we are going from left to right, then oxidation takes place, and if we are moving from right to left, okay, then reduction takes place. But how can we predict just by looking at the reaction? Okay, so we have to calculate now in which oxidation number, in which state it is. Okay, so in order to overcome this problem in case of covalent compounds, how to predict whether oxidation or reduction takes place, a new term is introduced, that is known as oxidation number. Okay, that is known as oxidation number. I have already you can say I have already said this term many a times. So oxidation number क्या होता है? Okay, so oxidation, here I have written some rules for assigning the oxidation number. Okay, so these are 8 rules and there are 2 or 3 more rules. Okay, so now what is an oxidation number? Firstly, oxidation number. Okay, and this term is quite different from the valency which we have learnt in 9th class or in 10th class. So what is oxidation number? So oxidation number is the charge which is generated on the atom of an element when it is combined with the other atoms of the element. Okay, when it is in combined state. So it is the charge. It is the charge generated on any atom of an element in combined state when it is present in combined state with other element, when it is present in combined state. Okay, when it is present in combined state. So oxidation number क्या होता है? It is the charge which is generated on any atom of an element, okay, when it is present in the combined state. For example, in case of water is a covalent compound, so we cannot just predict which is oxidized or which is reduced when this water changes into H2 and O2. Okay, we cannot predict just with the help of the electron rule. Okay, with the help of that definition in which oxidation takes place when electron lose and reduction takes place when electron is accepted. So now in order to assign oxidation number to hydrogen and oxygen, we have some rules. Okay, we have some rules. There is some oxidation number of hydrogen over here and oxidation number of oxygen over here. Similarly here also oxidation यहाँ पे भी hydrogen का कुछ oxidation number होगा, and here also oxygen have some oxidation number. So we can easily check whether the oxidation number is increased or decreased. Okay, if the oxidation number is increased, if we are going from left to right of the number line, then oxidation takes place, and if we are moving from right to left or the oxidation number is decreased, for example the oxidation number changes from -3 to -2, then it is increased. -2 is greater than that of -3, then it is always oxidation takes place. Now if the oxidation number changes from +5 to +4, then there is a decrease in oxidation, it means reduction takes place. So decrement in oxidation number is known as reduction, and increment in oxidation number is known as oxidation. Is it clear? Okay. So as the name suggests, oxidation number, so it will favor the oxidation. So if oxidation number increase, it means oxidation takes place, and if oxidation number is decreased, then it means reduction takes place. Okay. Now let us discuss some rules. Okay, in order to assign oxidation number to different atoms of any compound. Okay. Now this is our first step. In order to check whether oxidation or reduction takes place, this is our first step to assign the oxidation number. Okay, after assigning the oxidation number, we have to check whether the oxidation number is increased or decreased. Okay, we will discuss a lot of examples. Okay, after this rule. Now what are the rules? So the first rule is the oxidation number of all the atoms of different element in their elementary or allotropic state is taken to be as 0. Okay. Now what is this rule? So oxidation number हमने सभी atoms का when it is present in their elementary form or in their pure state, then its oxidation number is taken to be as 0. Okay. Now what are its example? For example, the elementary states. Okay, so we all know that hydrogen, the elementary state is H2 as a gas, similarly O2 as gas, N2 as gas when they are present in this form. Phosphorus as P4, okay, red wala, for example, and for example sulfur as S8 orthorhombic. Similarly fluorine as a gas, bromine as a liquid, iodine as a solid. Okay, so these are some elementary states. For example, water as a liquid, CO2 as a gas. Okay, carbon as graphite, not diamond. So when carbon is present in graphite form, then its oxidation number is taken to be as 0. So there are many more examples. For example, if we talk about metals, so sodium as a solid, magnesium as solid, aluminium as solid, etc. Okay, so these all are the elementary states of some most common species. For example, H2O2, N2, F2Cl2, Br2, sodium, magnesium, aluminium, etc. Okay, so oxidation number of all these species is taken to be as 0. Okay, now this is the first rule. The second rule is the oxidation number of monatomic ions is the same as the charge on the ion. Now, for example, if we have monatomic ion, we are talking about the ionic compound. So, if we have a monatomic ion, for example, Na as a +1, then the charge is +1, then its oxidation number is also +1. Okay, oxidation number is also taken to be as equal to charge. This is only in case of monatomic ions. For example, aluminium as +3. Aluminium as +3. Now its charge is +3, then its oxidation number is also taken to be as +3. For example, if we have F -1, so in case of F, the charge is -1, then its oxidation number is also -1. Similarly, O2 negative. In case of O, this is oxide. The charge is -2, then its oxidation number is also -2. Okay, so this is the second rule. The third rule is the oxidation number of hydrogen is taken to be as +1 when combined with non-metals and is taken to be as -1 when it is combined with metals. So this is a very important rule. When hydrogen is, these are the basis of oxidation number. Okay, these 3 or 4 rules are the basis. Now the oxidation number of hydrogen is +1, taken to be as +1 when it is combined with non-metals. For example, if we talk about ammonia, so in ammonia, hydrogen is attached with a non-metal, that is nitrogen. So now its oxidation number is taken to be as +1. Okay. its oxidation number is taken to be as +1. But when it is combined with a metal, for example, NaH, sodium hydride, then its oxidation number is taken to be as -1 always. Okay, when it is combined with a metal, for example, in case of calcium hydride, CaH2, then its oxidation number is taken to be as -1. Okay, so this is the rule. This is the third rule. Now the fourth rule is the oxidation number of oxygen is taken to be as -2 in most of the compounds. So in most of the compounds, for example in water, the oxidation number is always taken to be as -2. Okay, so the oxidation number of oxygen is taken to be as -2. But there is also an exception in case of hydrogen peroxide. In case of hydrogen peroxide, H2O2. Okay, H2. Now hydrogen is combined with a non-metal, then its oxidation number is +1. Okay, but here in this case hydrogen peroxide, the oxidation number of oxygen is taken to be as -1. So this is the only exception in case of H2O2, and there are many more examples like O2F2 is also there. So in that case also oxygen is taken to be as +1. Okay, so because fluorine is more electronegative, that is why oxygen is assigned as +1. So okay, so here oxygen is taken to be as -1 in case of hydrogen peroxide. These are the some exceptions. Now fifth one is the oxidation number of alkali metals is always taken to be as +1. For example, if we have sodium hydroxide, sodium hydride, okay, lithium hydroxide. So in all these compounds, the oxidation number of alkali metal is taken to be as +1. Similarly, for alkaline earth metals, the oxidation number is always taken to be as +2. Okay, the oxidation number is always taken to be as +2. Now the sixth rule is the oxidation number of halogen is always -1 in metal halides only. Okay, in metal halides, you have to keep in your mind in metal halides only, not in all compounds, because oxidation number of halogen can be +3, +5 or any other, +7 even they also exist as +7. So even they also exist as +6. So there is a variable oxidation numbers. Okay, but in metal halides, in case of metal halides, for example, we have AlCl3. This is a metal halide. In this case, the oxidation number of chlorine is taken to be as -1 always. Okay, in this case, the oxidation number is taken to be as -1. Similarly, we have NaCl, MgCl2, CaCl2. So in all the cases, PbCl3. So in all the PbCl2, sorry, in all the cases, the oxidation number is taken to be as -1. Now the next rule is, these two rules are very very important. 7th and 8th. These two rules are very very important. The 7th rule says that in neutral compounds, the sum of the oxidation number of all the atoms is taken to be as 0. Now what does this rule mean? According to this rule, the sum of the oxidation number of all the atoms. Okay? For example, we are taking any neutral compound. For example, the simplest compound is water. Okay, so now apply this rule. The sum of the oxidation number of all the atoms is 0. Okay, for example, take the oxidation number of hydrogen as x and the oxidation number of oxygen as y. Now the sum of the oxidation numbers. So now there are two hydrogens, so 2 into x plus y is always equal to 0. Okay, actually the oxidation number, the last rule says that in polyatomic ions, the algebraic sum of the oxidation number of all the atoms is equal to the charge on the ion. Now what does this mean? It means that if there is a charge on the complete compounds or the species, then the oxidation number of all the atoms is equal to that charge. For example, if we have ClO4 O7 minus 1, okay, ClO4 minus 1, for example. Now the oxidation number of chlorine is taken to be as x and the oxidation of oxygen is taken to be as y, for example. Okay, now the sum of the oxidation number of these two species is equal to the charge on the whole compound. Okay, now there is only a single oxygen, so X plus there are four oxygen, 4 into Y is equal to -1. So always keep in your mind that in case of ionic compound, in case of ions, the sum of the algebraic sum of the oxidation number of all the atom is equal to the charge on the ion. But in case of neutral compound, there is no charge. That is why it is equal to 0, according to this seventh rule. Okay. There are many more rules. For example, nitrogen. In case of nitrogen, the oxidation number is taken to be as -3. Okay. In case of nitrogen, the oxidation number. These two rules are the most important, and we have to apply these two rules in order to calculate. In order to determine the oxidation number. Okay? So these two rules are the most important. So we will discuss a lot of numericals also related to these all rules. Okay. Now there is also a rule that in case of nitrogen, if it is in contact with a less electronegative atom, for example, if it is in contact with hydrogen, hydrogen is less electronegative, then its oxidation state is always taken to be as -3. But when it is in contact with a more electronegative atom, for example, NF3, okay, now its oxidation state is taken to be as +3. Okay, but there is not a hard and fast rule that nitrogen is always present in -3 or +3. Okay, so there is not a hard and fast rule. So, but when it is in contact with a more electronegative atom, its oxidation state is always taken to be as +3. Okay. Now these are the some common rules, 8 rules. Okay. So let us sum up all the rules. Okay. So the first rule is the oxidation number of all the atoms of different elements in their elementary or allotropic state is 0. Okay. Second rule is oxidation number of all the monatomic ion is same as the charge on the ion. Now the third rule is the oxidation number of hydrogen is taken to be as +1 when it is combined with a non-metal. Okay, and its oxidation number is taken to be as -1 when it is in combined with a metal. The oxidation number of oxygen is -2 in most of the compound, but there are also exceptions, like in case of hydrogen peroxide, its oxidation number is -1. Now the oxidation number of alkali metal is +1 or +2 in case of alkaline earth metals. Now the sixth rule is the oxidation number of halogen is always -1 in metal halides only. The oxidation number of halogen may be +5, +6 and +7 also. So the neutral compounds, in neutral compound the sum of the oxidation number of all atom is taken to be as 0. Okay, so the sum of all the oxidation number of all the atom is taken to be as 0. In polyatomic ions, the algebraic sum of the oxidation number of all atom is equal to the charge on the ion. Okay, so these are the, you have to keep in your mind these 8 or 9 rules. Okay, in order to calculate, in order to find the oxidation number, okay, of any element, of any atom, of any element in a compound. Okay, so now let us solve some problems in order to how to calculate the oxidation number of any atom. So here I have written some problems in order to calculate the oxidation number of the underlined atom. Okay, now the first one is H2S. Okay, and in this compound we have to calculate the oxidation number of this sulfur. Now we all know that when hydrogen is attached to a non-metal, then its oxidation number is always taken to be as +1, and it is a neutral compound, then the sum of the oxidation number of all the atoms is taken to be as 0 according to the 7th rule. Okay, now there are two atoms, take the oxidation number of sulfur is X, and we all know that oxidation number of hydrogen is +1 and there are two hydrogen atoms, plus X is equal to 0. So after calculating the oxidation number, the value of X is taken to be as comes out to be as -2. So the oxidation number of sulfur is -2, as simple as that. Now in this case, oxidation number of nitrogen. Now this SO4, there is a -2 sign over here. Okay, SO4 is, you have to keep in your mind that SO4 is -2 always. Okay, so this is a species when it is actually this is calculated from this compound, for example K2SO4. We all know that the oxidation number of potassium, which is a alkali metal, is always +1. So if it is +1, then 2 into +1 plus oxidation number of this whole compound is X is equal to 0. From here we will get X is equal to -2. Okay, so that is why I have taken SO4 as -2. Now the oxidation number of nitrogen is taken to be as X. Okay, so X, there is 2 multiplied with the nitrogen, so 2 into X plus, now hydrogen is attached to a non-metal, then its oxidation number is +1. So +1 into, there are 4 hydrogen atoms, so 4 into 2, 8, and -2 of SO4 is equal to 0. So now calculate 8 minus 2 is 6. So 2x is equal to -6 and x is equal to -3. So the oxidation number of nitrogen in this compound is -3. Now in this compound we have to calculate the oxidation number of phosphorus. So oxidation number of phosphorus is taken to be as X. Now in case of as nitrogen as sodium is alkali metal, then its oxidation number is +1 into 3, or 3 into +1 plus X plus 4 into oxidation number of oxygen is -2 is equal to 0. So 3 plus X minus 8 is equal to 0, and X comes out to be +5. So the oxidation number of phosphorus is +5 in this compound. Okay, is it clear? Now in case of this compound, fluorine is always taken to be as -1 because it is the most electronegative element. Okay, so fluorine is always taken to be as -1. So the oxidation number of boron is taken to be as X plus 3 into -1 is equal to 0, and from here we will get X is equal to +3. As simple as that. Now in this compound we have to calculate for phosphorus again. So for phosphorus we have for hydrogen oxidation number is +1. So +1 plus X plus 4 into the oxidation number of oxygen is -2 is equal to the total charge on the ion, that is -2. Okay, so 4 into -2, 8. So 8 plus 1, this 8 is in minus sign. So -8 plus 1 -7, and from here X minus 7 is equal to -2, and X comes out to be +5. So keep in your mind that you have to assign the sign also. Okay. Now for sixth, uranium. So let us take the oxidation number of uranium X. So 2 into X, there are 2 atoms, plus 7 into -2 is equal to the total charge, that is -4. So 2x minus 14 is equal to -4, and 2x is equal to plus ka 10, and x is equal to plus ka 5. As simple as that. Okay, is it clear now? Now seventh one, B. So take the oxidation state as X. So 4 into X plus 7 into the oxidation number of oxygen is -2, that is equal to the total charge on the complex. So 4x minus 14 is equal to -2, and then this 4x is equal to, so 12 plus ka, and x is equal to plus ka 3. Okay, so the oxidation number of boron is comes out to be as +3. Now in this case we have to calculate for manganese. So the oxidation number of or the oxidation state of potassium is +1 because it is an alkali metal. So 2 into +1 plus x plus 4 into -2 is equal to 0. So 2 into 2 plus x minus 8 is equal to 0, and x is equal to plus ka 6. Okay, so after calculating, x comes out to be plus ka 6. Now is it clear now? These 8 examples. Now we are on the ninth one. So Cl, the oxidation number of Cl is taken to be as X. Cl into plus 2 into oxidation number of oxygen is minus 2. X is equal to plus का 4. As simple as that. Now this is a very important example. Oxidation number of fluorine is taken to be as minus 1 and X, oxidation number of oxygen is X over here. So X 2 into X plus 2 into minus 1 is equal to 0, and from here we will get X is equal to plus 1. So this is also an exception of the rule. Okay, that oxidation number of oxygen is not minus 2 over here. It is plus 1, which I have already told you. Okay, in case of O2F2. Now here oxidation number of hydrogen is plus 1 plus X into minus 2 is equal to 0, and X comes out to be plus ka 1. Here oxidation number of sulfur is X, 2 into X plus 7 into minus 2 is equal to minus 2. So 2X minus 14 is equal to minus 2, and X comes out to be plus ka 6. Yeah, it's plus 2 plus 6. So here we have to calculate for sulfur. So hydrogen is plus 1, 2 into plus 1 plus sulfur X plus 4 into minus 2 is equal to 0. So after calculating you will get X is equal to plus ka 6. As simple as that. Now these two are most important oxidizing agent, K2Cr2O7 and KMnO4, and this one is a good reducing agent, sodium boron hydride. So K2Cr2O7, so oxidation number of K is plus 1 because it is an alkali metal, plus 2 into let us take the oxidation number of chromium as X plus 7 into minus 2 is equal to 0 because there is no sign, this is a neutral compound, sorry. So 2 plus 2X minus 14 is equal to 0, and after calculating X comes out to be plus ka 6. As simple. Now in this case for potassium the oxidation number is plus 1, and for manganese it is X plus 4 into minus 2 is equal to 0, and after calculating X comes out to be plus ka 7. And the last one NaBH4, so the oxidation number of sodium is plus 1 plus X plus now here we have a metal over here. So the oxidation number of hydrogen is taken to be as minus ka 1. So 4 into minus 1 is equal to 0, and X comes out to be plus ka 3. As simple as that. Okay. So these are the most important 16 examples in order to calculate the oxidation number. So you can also practice some more examples from the textbooks. Okay. Or you can also search it on Google. Okay. Some most important example. There are some exceptions also in which we will get the fractional oxidation number. So we will discuss that one in the next class, and what is the difference between oxidation number and valency. Okay, we will discuss in the next class. So I hope this much is quite enough for this particular lecture, and I hope you found this lecture very helpful. So if you have any doubt you can ask in the comment section, and thank you so much for watching the lecture.